Welcome back to Roosters Cafe. It's the 2010 softball preseason show. Rusty Brown and Tim Whitmire along with head coach Mike Davenport. Tim, let's talk about the facilities for a second here before we get into the season and some of the upperclassmen this year for the Saints. We know that you've been around. You've seen some ballparks. Tell us a little bit.
I'm not that old. Come on.
Tell us a little bit about the facilities here in North
Well,
Georgia.
as you know, last year North Georgia opened up the Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium, one of the best softball facilities in the Southeast, if not the nation. From a press box perspective, a great press box. You have the different areas so the visiting coaches or visiting press can stay up there, and seat back's just a great, nice little park. And then if you don't like sitting in the stands, you can go up on the hill. Coach Davenport talked about the hill getting lined up during the tournament. But when you look around, I've seen some D1 programs that are no stands at all. So North Georgia has a great facility, something we should be proud of.
And, Coach, what exactly has that done for the recruiting process here? With having such great facilities here in Dahlonega, what does that do for the recruiting process, and what about the recruits coming in this season?
Well, that's a big sell for our kids. Anytime we bring a young lady on campus, we obviously the university sells itself. The reputation of their education program sells itself. Our dormitories are extremely nice, and our athletic facilities are top of the line. And just the addition of Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium have taken us over the top. I mean, we're so thankful to have local donations that help our programs go in our athletic department, and to have a 222 chairback stadium at the NCAA Division II level is quite an honor and quite impressive.
And that stadium was at capacity several games last year, outside of just the regional and super regionals.
And being one of the better stadiums in the Peach Belt Conference, got to help you there recruiting. Also bringing in other opponents. We already talked about the schedule this year. A lot of big-name teams coming in. I know that probably had a lot to do with that. Coach, the senior class this year, a lot of girls really stepping up over the past couple of years in their careers. What about the senior class this year? What makes them so special?
Well, we've got 4 young ladies this year: Jessica Skills, Leslie Smith, Laura Voiles, and Courtney McGuire, that will all complete their career here in 2010. And all 4 of these young ladies have made such a tremendous impact into our program, both on the field and off the field. And we look for just one more, basically their farewell song. And we look for big things out of all 4 of them.
Coach, it seems like just yesterday those young ladies were taking the field for the first time for North Georgia. It's been exciting seeing them grow up from these kids right out of high school to young ladies representing and doing a great job of representing the North Georgia program. Opportunity to leave here with some big numbers.
Oh, yeah, time flies. And, I can remember recruiting all 4 of these young ladies. And I know one of them I recruited when she was a freshman in high school. And I can tell you the first time I saw her and the first time I talked to her parents, and obviously we were NAI at the time, so it was allowable. But, just the time we first introduced those young ladies to our program to now is time has flown, and I wish they could stick around for 4 more years. But this will be it for these 4 young ladies, and hopefully this will be one of our best years ever.
Well, Coach, let's go around the diamond a little bit.
Okay.
North Georgia's strong at every position, and he's recruited in some additional players to help and given some breaks. Let's start with Sarah Phillips at the pitching position and some of the players you brought in to help her out this season.
Well, fast pitch softball starts and ends a lot of times in the circle, and for us, with Sarah Phillips, our junior, in the circle, we've got an opportunity. We've got a chance to win every ball game. Young lady won 39 ball games for us last year. We've got some nice additions to her on our pitching staff this year, and Kaylin Farrington, one of our GAs, that will handle our pitching staff, as well as our other assistant, Brad Davis. We've added 4 freshmen that came in, as well as Ansley Anderson, who returns as a junior, and then the other 3 freshmen coming in. 2 of those young ladies are left-handed pitchers: Lauren Dykes from East Paulding High School, and Michaela Hamilton out of Harris County down in South Georgia, and then Kristen Conley from Peachtree Ridge down the road in Gwinnett County as a right-hander. But bringing in 2 lefties on our staff is something that I think will give us a little bit more balance and something hopefully a little bit more difficult for our opponents to scout.
Completing the battery, you have some experience at catcher. Of course, we had the injury last year to Natasha, and Hillary stepped in as a freshman doing a good job. So they give you some flexibility at the catcher position, too. Talk about that.
Well, we've got 3 young ladies that we feel that can catch just about any and every game for us behind the plate. As you mentioned, Tim, Natasha Valemsa broke her thumb last year, 7 games into the season, and so we lost her during her junior year, so she'll be a junior once again because she did get a medical red shirt. And Hillary Cox, as you mentioned, stepped in as a freshman last year. We'd like to move Hillary back to third base if at all possible. And then we've also got a left-handed catcher, Catherine Martin, who also plays some first base. Right. And all 3 of those young ladies can handle the catcher position if we need it.
And Hillary Cox, she came in last year, as Tim mentioned, and She went on to become a Peach Belt all-conference team member. A big season for her last year. How about over at first base? Who's going to be hunkering down over there?
Well, again, we've got a couple lefties over there. Lauren Dykes, when she doesn't pitch, will also play some first base. Catherine Martin, another lefty we've talked about. Kayla Martin swinging the bat really hot for us right now, a junior from down the road, North Forsyth High School. And then we've got some other young ladies who can move over there and play some first base if we need that position filled, and it's going to come down to who's swinging the bat. And the girls, and one of my philosophies is if you're hitting, you're going to be in the lineup somewhere. So it's going to be very competitive on the bench for us.
I'm sorry, Tim. You talked about Hillary Cox and her maybe moving to third base. Outside of Hillary, who else could we see over there at the hot corner?
Well, Hillary Cox and then Leslie Smith, one of our other seniors, came in, was recruited basically as a shortstop, a middle infielder out of high school. We've toyed around with moving her to the hot corner a little bit. We've moved her in the outfield, but Leslie can play some third base. And we've also got a freshman from Buford High School that played shortstop, and that young lady, Whitney Holman, should be able to come in and play some shortstop and probably back up Casey Knight for us at the shortstop position, as well as push Hillary at third base also.
And, of course, sort of a utility player, Laura Walls played wherever you needed her pretty much last year, moved to third, but she'll be back at second this year.
Yeah, with the injuries, and, as we talked about last year, we had some injuries. We had 3 starters hurt throughout the course of the season, or 3 potential starters. So hopefully in the offseason we got a little bit, we got healthy, and if that's the case, we will move Laura Walls back to second base. And then we've got a young freshman, Callie Fernandez from Peachy Ridge High School, that we feel that can back her up very well.
And Coach, the outfield, of course, being one of the better outfields in the Peach Belt Conference, so deep there in the outfield. Tell us a little bit about who's going to be out in the outfield, left field, right field, and center.
Well, again, having Jessica Skills, one of our seniors, come back from an injury, having her healthy, hopefully she'll play, get quite a few innings in at the left field position. We've also got a young lady that is a freshman right now from Luella High School, and that's Victoria St. Clair. And Tori has a tremendous arm. She's really surprised us a little bit. You think you know what you're getting in the recruiting process, but a lot of times you're pleasantly surprised, and I think she's one. She does a lot of things well. She runs well. She's got a lot of power, and she's got quite an arm. In center field, you've got Pilar Harden, who returns for her sophomore season, and Petey had a great season for us last year as a freshman. And we've got some young ladies who can back her up in center field, and one of those being Lauren Dykes again, who can move around the field for us, outfield pitching and at first base. And then in right field, Courtney McGuire, the All-American returns for her senior season.
So a solid team, defensively, offensively, a lot of power in the bats too.
Well, yeah, there's definitely going to be a challenge for our coaching staff, and that's exactly what you want as a coach. You want it to become difficult on game days to find a starting 9, and I think we're going to have our work cut out for us every day. We write that starting 9, and it makes the kids competitive. It makes them work hard in practice, and when a kid's not playing well, or if they're for some reason in a slump or whatever it is, somebody else's turn is going to step up.
And, of course, when the kids get tired, it'll be an opportunity to give them some break and some other kids to step in there and earn a spot or make it a little competition on the team.
Oh, no doubt, and that just breeds excellence. And that, with our kids, and we're a lot deeper than we were last year just because of the class we brought in, the freshmen that we've got in the program now, as well as the injuries healing up during the off season. We've become hopefully a more solid and more deep team.
Rusty, I don't know about you. I'm getting pumped up about the season.
Should be an awesome season. 2010 right around the corner as they open up this weekend as they got a big tournament on the road. We'll see them at home here in just a few weeks. You can catch all those games here at home in Dahlonega on saintsports.com. Coach, we got one more question for you. After such a record-breaking season last year, what goals have you set for this team in 2010?
Well, we really don't talk about limiting goals, because sometimes goals, once you reach your goal, then you feel like you've accomplished something. And our biggest thing, and this comes from a coach that I admire quite a bit, he just tells us to reach our potential. And so every day we work to reach our potential on the practice field and in every game that we play. And anything after that is in the Lord's hands, and we'll go from there.
All right, we're going to take a short break here on the Softball Preseason Show live at Roosters. When we come back, we'll have some words with a few of the seniors here on the Saints Club. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the 2010 Saints Preseason Softball Show.